club. That there was just something about when he was in the ball game, and I kind of wondered, as an everyday player, would he be able to do that same thing day in and day out? Well, he certainly does.
Tonight, from the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix, Arizona, the Pittsburgh Pirates' 10-game, 3-city road trip continues, and it's the first of 3 against the red-hot Arizona Diamondbacks. They have won 5 in a row. The Pirates routed the San Diego Padres last night 11-1, concluding that 3-game series, so the Pirates salvaged the finale. Greg Brown along with Bob Walk, and Bob right in the middle of it all again last night. Josh Harrison hitting .400 over his last 5 ball games.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anybody really in the league that's as fun to watch day in and day out as Jay Hay is. And when he was a part-time player, Greg, you know, he would get out there and he would always add a little spark to the club. That there was just something about when he was in the ball game, and I kind of wondered, as an everyday player, would he be able to do that same thing day in and day out? Well, he certainly does, and the way he's always looking to move up that extra 90 feet, it just adds that excitement to not only to us watching a ball game, but to his teammates down that dugout.
And of course, he'll be in the starting lineup against a left-hander, Patrick Corbin, and in the lineup for the first time as a Pirate, Jason Rogers was called up today from AAA Indianapolis. It's the Pirates and the Diamondbacks. On the mound for the Buccos, it'll be lefty John Neese. He has never started his career 3-0. He'll try to do that tonight. Of Neese and men. Who writes this stuff? The Pirates and the Diamondbacks coming up. left-hander, going to make his 4th start. And the first of a 3-game series against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Greg, I really like the way he's been aggressive to the strike zone this season. You know, especially when he gets a little bit of a lead early, then he really goes after the guys. And that's something that I think we need right now. We've been struggling a little bit to throw enough strikes. Neese today, he's going to go right after him.
Jon Niese on Saturday against the Milwaukee Brewers. 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs. The Pirates blanked the Brew Crew 5-0 at PNC Park. And for the Diamondbacks, well, finding their form for sure. Pitching this season, first 3 games, they lost 7 of 10. Last 7 games, they've won 6 of 7, and you can point to that pitching staff.
It's all about the pitching. If they pitch like they have for the last week or so, they're going to be an awfully tough squad to beat this year.
We'll be back with the first pitch, but we go back to the studio. Rob King and a game break.
Friday night, getting hype, it's the time again. Turn my hat, looking fast, turn it up to 10. We hit the gas, going fast to the boulevard. Grab the boy. Friday night, getting hype, it's the time again. Turn my hat, looking fast, turn it up to 10. We hit the gas, going fast to the boulevard. Grab the boys, grab the girls, headed to the park. And you can second guess, we're better than the rest. Gotta see right under the stars. 'Cause it's Friday night, and we're feeling right. 'Cause it's Friday night tonight, and we're feeling like we're ready to Friday night. 'Cause it's Friday night, and we're feeling right.
Brighton boys making their TV debut tonight. Here is Patrick Corbin making his 4th start of the year. Of course, John Neese has already made his Pirates debut, and he is looking to start a season 3-0 for the first time in his career. Check out the RAV4 starting lineup for the Pirates, and with the lefty, Patrick Corbin, Clint Hurdle has, for the most part, a right-handed hitting lineup in there. Jordy Mercer, Andrew McCutchen, Francisco Cervelli, Starling Marte hits cleanup, Josh Harrison at second. Jason Rogers makes his Pirates debut after getting off to a strong start at AAA Indianapolis. Sean Rodriguez at third, Gregory Polanco, and John Neese on the hill.
Take a look at Corbin's numbers. Corbin doesn't like deep counts. He likes to go after the hitters early in the count, throw a lot of fastballs. So be interesting to see how this works out tonight with our guys normally wanting to take a lot of pitches and get those guys into full counts. Who will win the battle?
Well, the first pitch is off the mitt of the catcher Castillo back to the backstop.
So far, so good.
Jordy Mercer hitting leadoff as he did on Wednesday against the left-hander Drew Pomeranz of the Padres. And right up the middle, a shot that deflects off the glove of the pitcher. There's Jordy Mercer keeping it going and getting things started on the right foot.
Yeah, no messing around and doing a lot of taking. First strike of the game goes for a base hit.
Leadoff hit for Mercer. Right up the middle. Mercer was 3 for 4 on Wednesday against the lefty Pomeranz. And now Andrew McCutchen 0 for his last 8. Of course, you know, having watched McCutchen over the years, usually tears up left-handed pitching. See if a lefty won't get McCutchen going again. A little bit of a sluggish start for the Pirates all-star and former MVP, hitting .230. A couple of homers, 4 RBIs, and you see the career numbers, .327 against Southpaws. Corbin coming back from Tommy John surgery.
Little change up, down and away. If he can get himself in a situations where he's ahead in the count, he's going to go to a slider mainly as his number 2 pitch. But if he's behind in the count or even, you're going to mainly get the fastball and the changeup from him, especially the right-hand hitters. There's the changeup.
2-1. Patrick Corbin, born in Clay, New York, near Syracuse, 6'3", 207 pounds, 26 years old. Missed all of 2014 after Tommy John. And again, McCutchen gets under one. That has just been the theme for him much of this early part of the season. Goldschmidt hangs with it. He's a Gold Glover. Check out the rest of the Honda defense. Gene Segura, the former Brewers shortstop, plays second base. Nick Ahmed is at shortstop. Rookie Brandon Drury is the third baseman. Yasmani Tomas in left. Chris Owings is in center. David Peralta, the right fielder, and Wellington Castillo catches Patrick Corbin. The D-backs defense. Gene Segura hoping the change of scenery will get his career back on track.
He's opened up awfully hot.
Now Cervelli, Francisco Cervelli, a 5-game hitting streak. Speaking of hot, a .340 average.
So far, Corbin keeps missing away with that fastball he has. He's got a little tail on it. Kind of starting everybody out with it.
A .340 average, tied for 8th in the National League. For the Pirates backstop, Francisco Cervelli Marte on deck. Two 2-0. Cervelli also up there in on-base percentage, .452. That's the 4th highest mark in the National League in on-base percentage. And that'll reach the seats.
You know, Greg, that one of the things the Pirates like is versatility in their players, be able to play different places. I was thinking they have the exact same thing really on the offensive side in that lineup. It doesn't matter where anybody really hits. You can move them all over the place.
True.
They have this, you know, way that they're doing it this year, and everybody is buying into it, and they're almost all interchangeable up and down the lineup. But you know, you got guys down at the bottom of the lineup with 8, 9 RBIs. It's just doesn't matter where you're at. There's not really a lot of rest for an opposing pitcher when he's looking at, you know, where's the weak spot. Well, there really kind of isn't one. Not a lot of home runs. You're not really probably worried about that so much, but this quality at bats all through 1 through 8.
You just know each time it's going to be a battle. Every guy up there. And now 3-1. Jay Hay is in the hole. Marte on deck. And to the shortstop, Ahmed. Wide throw, but Segura does a nice job to take it and then gun it to first for an inning-ending double play.
Well, it wasn't pretty, but they got it done.
Are going to be coming to bat against John Neese. Gene Segura will be leading things off. Honda lineup. Chip Hale is the skipper in his 2nd year on the bench, and he's got Gene Segura followed by Brandon Drury. Paul Goldschmidt hits 3rd. Yasmani Tomas has a 7-game hitting streak. Wellington Castillo follows. David Peralta is in right. Then it's Nick Ahmed, Chris Owings, and Patrick Corbin.
John Neese's numbers going to be brought to you by Hyundai, and one of the things that could be a little bit better is that ERA. We've talked about that just about every time he goes out there. That there was a couple of plays earlier in the season that we could have made and saved him some runs, but overall he's pitched extremely well. You see the opponent batting average 197 and only 5 walks in 18 innings.
First pitch swinging. Segura fouls it away. He's been an aggressive player over the years, and as Bob said, maybe things are turning around for him Now that he has changed addresses, he's now a member of the Arizona Diamondbacks and hitting .338. 10th highest average in the league. Along with 3 homers.
OPS well over 900.
Fights this one off, and it's going to drop in. Leadoff hit for Segura. Rivers Casino tips to win.
Welcome to the neighborhood. I think Jason Rogers is going to have a good first game. I like he's very hot right now, swinging a great bat down at AAA. He's got a lefty to face tonight, so I think he's going to do something good for us and want to get things back to normal. And that means Watson comes in the 8th inning and protects a 2-run lead. What do you think, Greg? That sounds like
a plan.
Get the everything right in the neighborhood. Watson, by the way, hasn't pitched since Saturday, so he needs some work.
There's Tony Watson right in the middle. Here's Brandon Drury. 1 ball, 1 strike on this 23-year-old rookie. Oregon native. And that could be 2. 1. Yep. Double play. Well, he's got a bunch of those double play ground balls. First of all, last time out. And double plays turned behind him.
He uses his defense. I mean, that's his game. Get that ball in the strike zone, get the hitters to put it in play, and let the defense make outs. Needs those guys to play well behind him and do that. Get the double plays in there. And it's one of the things that Greg, you've talked about this, that he remarked coming to the Pirates.
He likes that Bucco defense. And why not? If you look since 2010, he has allowed 64 unearned runs. That's the most by any pitcher in Major League Baseball. And he's going to give up that hit, then get the double play and get Goldschmidt to fly out. It's 0-0 after 1.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, Health for All, and by Day Automotive. We're gonna make your day. Let's go Bucks!
On to the second in Phoenix, where the Pirates have played well. They went 3-0 here last year. They've won 9 of the last 12 games played in this stadium. They've opened the roof. Pleasant night. There's a line drive towards center field, but carries out to Owings. Marte spanked it.
What do you think, Greg? More of a hitter's ballpark with the roof open?
Feels like it, doesn't it?
It's going to be warmer in here.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
95 degrees at game time.
Didn't Schilling always want it closed?
I think he did.
Yeah.
Here's Josh Harrison. Batting .400 his last 5 games. Overall average on the young season over .300. Line toward the line and left. And there goes Jay Hay. Right where he left off last night. He was all over the bases. In last night's ball game, he picked up RBIs in his first 2 at bats, the first 2 ribbies for the Bucks on their way to an 11-1 pounding of the Padres.
He took a slider on the inside corner that time and turned on it. And you know right now what he's doing, Greg. He's thinking about a ball in the dirt and moving to third.
So impressive last night how he did that, anticipating that, and he moved up not only to third base on a ball in the dirt, but scored on a ball in the dirt.
You can't take advantage of that stuff unless you are thinking about it right now. Saw Jack Wilson last night after the game, and he was probably the best I've ever seen at that. Always looking for the ball to bounce.
Ball 1 on Jason Rogers, his first Pirate at bat. Saw him in spring training. Came over from the Brewers for Keon Broxton over the winter. Was hitting .366 at Indianapolis. We had anticipated Rogers' arrival really since last weekend, when it appeared the Pirates would go back to a 7-man bullpen. But they've got 8 relievers still. And Clint Hurdle mentioned that before the game, that with hitters ballparks here and certainly at Coors Field, they're going to stay with this for the foreseeable future. So playing 1 position player short, and Rogers takes Cole Figueroa's place on the roster. 2-1.
Rogers with a nice spring training and very good numbers in AAA. Really deserves to be here.
And it's 3 balls and a strike. Rogers with 3 home runs down at AAA Indianapolis. Hit .366. Played off, or did he? First base umpire Clint Fagan saying Rogers offered at that pitch down low.
Yeah, another thing about spring training that I thought was pretty impressive, and it's just spring training, and we can always kind of take all of that stuff with a grain of salt, was that he played some pretty good defense. Didn't matter where they put him over, first or third, which was it surprised me a little, because
didn't have that reputation.
You know, that's not a strength of his, that he's kind of a hitter.
Bounces it to the right side. Diving play by Segura. What a play by Gene Segura. What a play.
He pulled that back out of right field, didn't he?
Wow. Former teammates in Milwaukee. Rogers saw that when Segura was on the left side of the infield. What a play.
If this game stays close, 1-run type ball game, we're going to refer back to this one a couple of times. That took a run away from the Pirates, at least temporarily.
Two outs, and the batter Sean Rodriguez. Four for 10 with 6 walks. Rodriguez getting the start at third base tonight. There's that pitch in the dirt, and Harrison was ready. If it had gotten behind Castillo at all, Jay Hay would have been sprinting toward the plate. High fly ball hit deep to left center field, clear the deck, cannonball coming. Serpico delivers. 2-0 Buccos as Rodriguez clubs his second home run in 11 at bats.
See where that one hit, Greg.
Wow.
Yeah, it carries with it.
His two
Seal it
home
open.
runs this season have been tape measure jobs. Last Sunday, a 442-foot shot.
Well, this one got to be all of that.
Boy, oh boy.
Look at everybody's smiling and talking about it.
Oh, that was impressive. Here is Polanco. And this ball hit well to center field. Polanco didn't waste any time. This ball's got a chance to get it. Look at this shot. Way up there, the batter's eye for Alcafe. Back-to-back tape measure jobs here in Phoenix. That's his first.
Hit well up above the center field camera position.
3-0.
That's a lot of yardage to throw on back-to-back pitches.
Wow. I mean, have you seen two back-to-back swings like that before that you can recall? I mean, recently?
They've gone that far.
Jeez.
You're right. They're back-to-back tape measure shots. Here's the first
I mean,
one.
there's back-to-back swings. That's that one. And here is John Neese. So here's Rodriguez. They just said the distances are 458 and 461. Here's the 461. Polanco tops the Rodriguez home run in terms of distance. Oh. Impressing Andrew McCutchen. Man. Again, Polanco. Way up there. Strike three called. Yeah, you can smile, Gregory. First home run of the year. Not so much for Corbin. 3-0 Pittsburgh. Pirates, Gregory Polanco. It's his first home run of the season following the Sean Rodriguez blast. Here's Sean Rodriguez.
This hits just below the red line on that brown wall, way up on the concourse, way back there behind the left field bleachers.
Jay Hay reacts. He was on base. And then Polanco, the next pitch.
See, now, not that it makes any difference. It's kind of trivial stuff, but doesn't it seem like Sean's is further than this one?
Well, they're both long. I agree.
Oh, they're
That's
both
trivial.
man
My
the
God.
shots, but I was thinking that Sean's was going to be by far and away the longest of the two, because it's out there where it's 413, not too far away there in the corner, and that thing went way back.
Well, Polanco going to have to go back himself and make a nice running catch. A ball hit by Yasmani Tomas.
Gobbles up some territory with his long legs, doesn't he? He certainly doesn't have like the classic running style, say, like McCutchen, but his strides are so big, he's just eating up territory. Easily gets all the way into that corner and make that play.
Now Wellington Castillo.
It's like what wind there is, Greg, is blowing up, isn't it?
That was, I mean, back-to-back swings. That's just really impressive. Those 2 home runs.
Well, we haven't been hitting very many home runs, but when we do,
give it some distance.
Wow.
Yeah, just the 8th and 9th home runs of the season for the Pirates. Only the Atlanta Braves have hit fewer. The Marlins and the Dodgers also with 9 homers. These Diamondbacks have hit 20. Castillo has hit 3. This veteran backstop, who will turn 29 years old on Sunday. Well, he's not going to get to it. Rodriguez will, and a pick on the other end by Rogers. How about these guys?
That sure looked like an infield hit, didn't it, coming off the bat?
Looked like an impossible play.
Nobody's going to get the out. I was kind of surprised that Sean even threw the ball. And nice pick by Rogers. We just got through talking about how in spring training he looked better with the glove than I thought we were going to see. And he comes up with a nice little pick. Guys are playing some ball tonight.
What John Neese thinks of all this.
He's thinking if he does his part,
yeah,
he goes 3-0.
Jeez. They're saying last inning that since 2010, 64 unearned runs against Neese, the most by any pitcher in Major League Baseball. Well, David Peralta, there's a benches clearing incident yesterday with the Giants, as he was hit by a pitch a couple days ago and got buzzed yesterday. Benches cleared. There were no punches thrown, but Peralta took exception to it. That series with the Giants, they just swept San Francisco in a 4-game series. And now Peralta drives one deep to left, sending Marte back. And Peralta shows his power opposite field.
I'm telling you, Greg, the wind's blowing straight up tonight.
That's Peralta's first of the season.
I think our question about does the ball carry better here with the
Got your answer.
with the roof open, it's been answered. 'Cause this just kept going. To me, it didn't seem like it was a home run ball when it left the bat, and it got over fairly easily, but 3 rows back.
Nick Ahmed takes the hefty cut. And Peralta, who hit 17 homers last year, it's his first. Ahmed has hit 3. Hitless in his last 13 at bats, dropping his average to .214. And off the glove, it looked like the tip of the glove, but Mercer is there to retire the D-backs. Friday Night Rocks, 3-0 Bucks. The David Peralta home run has the Diamondbacks on the board, but the Pirates hit 2 monster shots in the top of the second to take a 3-0 lead. Of course, it was Sean Rodriguez and Gregory Polanco in Point Park University tweets. I was under the impression that the Pirates had, quote, no power. I guess I was lied to. Gosh, those last 2 homers were straight up monsters, and we have liftoff in Phoenix. Hashtag moonshots. Hashtag late night bucking.
I knew when you said that they had no power that was going to come back and haunt you.
Well, haunt me?
Yeah.
I did that so that the Pirates would hit home runs. You're the one that taught me that. There's a drive deep to left. Oh, Mercer me. Look at this shot. That's a line drive home run well up there. His first.
That hit almost where Sean's did. Real close.
I mean, you can say all you want to about the roof being open, but that is a line drive home run that was crushed by Mercer.
Are they having fun in the dugout, you think?
Boy, they say that one was 466.
Well, see, now that's what I mean about Sean's. The Sean's went 20 feet further than that one.
Man.
See, I don't think the guy that's making the saw where Sean's hit.
Well, you might be right. Look at this.
As you watch where this hit, it hits the top of the green wall back behind the stands. Right there, bounces back. Sean's hit the brown wall back behind that.
McCutchen wants one. McCutchen wants one. Not going to get it. Instead, the center fielder Owings got it.
Kutcher's going to take some ribbing when he gets back in the dugout now. He is going to take some ribbing.
Wow. At the wall in left center field. I think McCutchen and Corbin both thought it was gone.
Corbin's got to be getting a shell shock.
Yeah. And the shortstop Nick Ahmed went over to talk to him just now, and there's McCutchen looking out.
Back in Steve's day, somebody'd get buzzed here, huh?
Yeah. Cervelli hit into a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play in the first. "4-1 Pirates, 3 homers. Corbin had given up 3 in his first 3 starts. Jordy Mercer 2 for 2. Line single up the middle his first time, and that line drive home run. Three and 1. Sharply hit at the shortstop, Ahmed. And we want to remind you, for tickets that are purchased now through this Sunday, the Pirates are paying all service fees. This deal includes the purchase of tickets for all games through the end of May. So don't miss out on great promotions, key divisional matchups, and much more. For tickets, go to pirates.com/no fees. Do that right now. And again, the Pirates are paying all the fees. The Pirates return to PNC Park 1 week from tonight to begin a 6-game homestand, 3 with the Reds and then 3 with the Chicago Cubs starting Monday, May 2nd. This ball lined down the line and left by Marte, and that's foul. A broken bat. He might be shell-shocked here, Patrick Corbin. Everything that the Pirates hit,
Yeah, the outs
hit
have been hit hard. That
Yeah.
last ground ball that Cervelli hit was right on the nose.
One and two. John Neese
Got him a nice cushion. Up 4-1.
I know there's a gentleman watching this game in Hilton Head, South Carolina, with his family. Mario Mackey, Pittsburgh native, lifelong fan, grew up in Brookline. Got to be liking this. Mario, we're thinking about you and praying for you, and know that your Buccos are going to get you a win tonight with your family gathered around watching your Pirates. 3-2. John Neese gave up the Peralta home run in the bottom of the second, but Jordy Mercer got that run right back. Still 3-2 on Marte. He lined out to the center fielder Owings last inning. Currently riding a 6-game hitting streak and a 19-game hit streak against the Diamondbacks for Marte. It's a high fly ball to left field. Going back is Tomas, nearing the wall and off the top of the fence. Marte stopped at second, and then sees that Tomas was having trouble picking it up. And actually, Marte could have had an inside the Parker. But he conceded the double early, and he'll wind up with either a double and an error or a triple.
Greg, I think that ball should have been caught out in left field. Watch where this ball lands. Right on the ground.
Yeah.
It hit the ground.
Yep. Marte figures he's going to join the home run parade maybe, but then sees it hit off the wall and again pulls up at second and does not realize that Tomas had trouble even picking the ball up. So not only should Tomas have made the catch, not that it's all that important with 2 outs that he allows Marte another 90 feet. Chip Hale knows that Tomas has been kind of a weak link defensively.
Well, that ball should have been caught. It just landed on the warning track.
One and one on Josh Harrison. There's a line drive to center field and a base hit. Now Corbin is fooling no one.
No,
I mean, everything they hit hard. Harrison 2 for 2.
the outfielders are all playing very deep. Just before that J-Hay base hit, I was looking out there to center field, and the outfield they just keep moving backwards further and further. Look at Owing in center field, Greg.
Yeah, he's way back.
And now he's taking a few. He took about 5 steps in just now, but
Mason Rogers was robbed of an RBI hit. And Gene Segura made a diving play in the second last inning. That was just before Sean Rodriguez hit the home run. And now Rogers puts a charge into one, sending Owings back, and Owings toward the track makes the catch. Whoa! Pirates are rocking on a Friday night with the long ball. Lead at 5-1. Pirates lead it. Heading to the bottom of the third here in Phoenix. Chris Owings, the center fielder, takes a strike from John Neese. Jordy Mercer with an impressive line drive home run that traveled an estimated 466 feet. And it's a ball and a strike on Owings. Gregory Polanco hit his first home run of the season. And of course, Sean Rodriguez crushed his second. This ball hit well the other way. And Polanco back. And there's the big guy. He's casually going back and getting to it to retire Owings.
It's one of those nights. The outfield should all just play on the edge of the warning track, both teams. The hitters are taking some real nice swings.
Barrel Automotive league leaders in terms of home run distance. This according to MLB.com. Jordy Mercer's home run, the one that has traveled the farthest in the league.
Now if you compare, we should go back and show where Sean's landed and where Mercer's was. Not that I don't want Jordy to have the lead, but Sean Rodriguez hit just below the white or the red line on a wall way behind where his hit.
Do you think it has anything to do with trajectory at all, or no? That this ball's hit pretty hard and off the glove of Josh Harrison, so Corbin's going to get himself a hit.
I thought it was how far the ball landed from home plate. I think it's a foot's a foot, isn't it?
You should call MLB.com. I think you're right.
Here's Sean's home run. Watch where it hits. Look at the red line back there. It's just behind that. Back behind that little. See where it says 143? So now how is Sean's not at least 20 feet further than Mercer's?
I don't know.
Somebody in MLB, I hope if you're watching this, let us know.
Well, it's launch angle, trajectory. They put all these things into it.
No, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about how far the ball went.
Oh, well.
We're not talking about how long it took to get there, how fast it was going, nothing like that. Just the distance.
Well, nothing against Sean Rodriguez, but I like Mercer being at the top, so I hope they don't listen to you.
In my eyes, before Mercer ever even hit his ball, my eyes, Sean Rodriguez hit that ball like 470 something.
Well,
because they gave 460 to dead center field. It's just common sense. You hit one way over there, way back there. It's way further.
Bob's going to be working for MLB StatCast.
No. I'm just pointing out they're wrong.
And a base hit puts runners at first and second. Gene Segura's 2 for 2.
Greg, you saw where the two balls landed, right? So which one went further? Which one went further?
Yeah,
no, don't say yeah. Which one went further?
I like MLB.com StatCast.
I asked you a question. You're going to answer my question.
No.
It's
the political season. I'm going to stick with MLB.com.
Which ball went further? Which ball went further, Greg? Come on, Greg.
Jordy Mercer's. First and second, 1 out, 5-1. Pirates lead it. Now we need John Neese to get that ground ball. He got Drury to hit a double play in the first. He grounded right to Josh Harrison. Now Neese has gotten 4 ground ball outs. But the Diamondbacks have put the ball in the air, including David Peralta's home run. And there's a liner and a base hit on an 0-2 pitch. Makes it a 5-2 ball game. Brandon Drury brings home the pitcher Corbin from second. Guess it's going to be one of those nights, huh?
Going to be one of those nights. Not a good spot for the 0-2 pitch.
Goldschmidt flied to right in the first, and of course we don't have to tell you about his power potential. one swing, he can tie it up just like that. 3 home runs on the year for Goldschmidt. Hit 33 last year. Drove in 110. And Nice falls behind 2-0. For the second time, Goldschmidt finished runner-up in MVP voting. Second to Bryce Harper last year and second to Andrew McCutchen in 2013. Checking in with DJ Rayburn, the home plate umpire.
Thank you.
And 2-2 now on Goldschmidt. DJ Rayburn, Clint Fagan, Marvin Hudson, Bill Welke. Bill Welke is the crew chief. Good job by Nice to come back and get the strikeout of Goldschmidt, and with the help of a call.
Pretty good velocity on that slider at 87, down and in. Goldschmidt swinging right over the top. Same pitch, same result.
Came into this game 10 for his last 24 at bats, a .417 average for the Cuban defector. A ball and a strike. Diamondbacks tied for 5th in batting average on the year. Chip Hale in his second season. Last year they went 79 and 83. No problem with the offense last year, scoring 720 runs, a .414 slugging percentage. That was second only to the Rockies. And there's a ground ball to third. Rodriguez for the force. Well, they get one. The RBI single by Drury, and the Pirates lead at 5-2. Yellowwood presents Bringing the Lumber, and the Pirates have been bringing the lumber tonight for sure. The long ball, Sean Rodriguez, Gregory Polanco, and Jordy Mercer with impressive tape measure shots. Pirates leading it 5-2. Josh Harrison also brought in a run with an RBI single. Jeff Branson, the hitting coach, loves to see the offense. And of course, really, offense hasn't been much of a problem since the start of the season. Best batting average in the league, highest on base percentage. Not scoring as many runs as they would like. Before last night, of course. Pirates won the game 11-1 and did it with no home runs, 4 extra base hits out of the 11 hits on the night against the Padres. A 1-ball 1-strike count on Sean Rodriguez is now 5 for 11. He has reached base safely 11 times in his first 17 plate appearances this season. And a fly ball to center field. Owings. 1 out.
Right fielder Gregory Polanco.
Pirates faced Corbin 4 years ago. The only other time they have seen this lefty. Gregory Polanco, that home run in the second. Hit his first big league home run off a left-hander 2 years ago in Miami against Mike Dunn. Well, he's hit a handful of southpaws.
I want the way he's transformed his game to this point. I know it's very early. The way he is so patient this year.
Pretty remarkable.
I mean, he's going to, you would think, triple his walk totals from last year.
Yeah. Two and two. Now, did not start against the left-hander Drew Pomeranz on Wednesday. And Bob, it's pretty important, especially a young player, and he still is, has some early success against a left-hander, because you can get pigeonholed, can't you?
Oh yeah, be a platoon guy.
Yeah.
You don't want that to happen to you. And I think left-hand hitters have more of a chance of that happening to them. You just don't see that much left-handed pitching, and so you know, there's a tendency maybe to not be very good against those guys, and they're going to say, oh, they can't hit lefties.
Second strikeout brings up John Neese. Get on board with a new Pirates 12-pack plan fueled by Sheets. Lock in the best seats at PNC Park with a made-to-order plan. And plans include postseason pre-sale opportunities and free food from Sheets. Get your 12-pack today at pirates.com/12-pack. A lot of Bucco fans here tonight. First of this 3-game series. Then it's on to Denver Monday, first of 4 games with the Rockies. And remind you again, just a brief 6-game homestand to see your Pirates a week from tonight. Begins 3 with the Reds, and then the Chicago Cubs, the showdown with the Cubbies. Monday, May 1st. Monday night, May 2nd, I should say. Tuesday night, May 3rd, and then a Wednesday afternoon game, May the 4th. And the Pirates hit the road for a time. Chop to the shortstop, Ahmed. And Corbin has a 1-2-3 top of the 4th. 5-2 Pittsburgh.
It's time for the Toyota RAV 4th inning. The all-wheel drive RAV Hybrid has performance that will make you rethink hybrid. Let's go Bucks!
5-2, Pirates lead it. Going to the bottom of the 4th inning in Phoenix. And the Pirates have won 9 of their last 12 games. Trying to slow down this D-backs club that has won 5 straight. They begin a 10-game homestand tonight. And Castillo with a high fly ball to left. Marte back. And this one's gone. Castillo's 4th. All Nice can do is shake his head. 5-3.
Tough night to pitch so far. The hitters are almost taking windups with their swing. Everybody just seeing how far they can hit it. Softball swings. Took a knee after he made contact with that one.
That Bucco fan caught that with a baby in his arm. How about that play?
It's pretty impressive.
John Nice thinks this is ridiculous here. The roof open.
As you said earlier, Greg, I think some of these might have got over with the roof closed. There he is. He's got it.
Wow, that is really impressive.
One-handed it.
This one hit the other way toward the track. Bob, to your point, outfielders might just as soon stand there
Yep.
on the track tonight. David Peralta, who homered the other way in the second, sent Marte back to the track. Another look at this really outstanding catch by Dad.
Didn't need a glove. The Diamondback fans are even impressed with that.
The baby had no clue, of course, what was going on. And everybody in Pittsburgh's calling him.
He'll learn about it as years go by.
Yeah.
You should have given me the baby.
Yeah. And now, of course, they relive it. Ball and a strike on Ahmed. One and two.
Diamondbacks invested a lot of money this year in uniforms.
Something like 8 different combinations.
Definitely some different looks too, different wild color schemes. Like, for instance, the way they have the back on this one. Where the name is, it's in gray and then fades out.
Strike 3 called. Second K for Nice.
Well, if this was a called strike, which it had to be, I thought there might have been a little bit of a check swing, but he didn't even move the bat. That was a bad call.
Chappelle pleading with DJ Rayburn. Let's go. Owings chases. Chris Owings Supplemental first-round pick in 2009. Playing center field. Big loss in spring training when A.J. Pollock went down 2 days before the start of the season in spring training. Diving headfirst, play at the plate. A.J. Pollock fractured his elbow, and this ball will drop in for a hit for Owings.
He is flying around the bases.
Easy 3.
Got a feeling, Greg, that neither team is going to put a lot of zeros up on the board tonight. The upper hand is with the guys with the bats. And they seem to know it.
Patrick Corbin helped himself at the plate with a 1-out single in the third, and he scored on a Brandon Drury base hit. So he can swing the bat. Base hit for Corbin toward the gap, and the pitcher Corbin into second with a stand-up RBI double.
How about that?
It's 5-4.
He can hit and he can run the bases a little bit. Even for the good hitting pitchers, this is a single, and he turns it into 2. Hustling double. Hustling stand-up double. He can play the game a little bit. Guess he doesn't want to go to the American League, huh?
No.
Should be called the Un-American League.
Better name for it.
I like that.
Second baseman, Jim Segura.
Well, Ray Searage pays a visit to the mound, and after last night, the Pirates got a much-needed strong start from Garrett Cole. Cole went 6 innings. Pirates won the game 11-1. Neftali Feliz, Rob Scahill, Mark Melancon got work in. Segura 2 for 2. D-backs have now out-hit the Pirates 8-7. Garrett Cole getting his first W last night.
Looked like his old self last night, didn't he? Really the first game where I think you saw a lot of things. The confidence, you know, the way he was kind of the body language out there, the way he was carrying himself. You knew that he knew he was back to normal. He had the good stuff, the good breaking pitches, good command. It was all there, you know, just like last season.
To right, and Polanco gets back. 2 more runs in, a home run by Wellington Castillo, RBI double by the pitcher Corbin, and it's 5-4.
Here, 5-4 Pirates as we hit inning number 5 here in the desert. I'm Robbie and Smikowski. Well, Bob Walk was talking about the various uniform combos that the Arizona Diamondbacks had, and the Buccos and Diamondbacks play 6 times, and they could potentially wear 6 different uniforms. Tonight they're wearing their home alternates, but these are a look at some of the different uniforms that they have. They have 8 different combos. Regular season homes and home alternates, regular road and road alternates, then they have the black and red alternates. We can see the black alternate right there on the left. They have a Hispanic Heritage uniform and a Throwback Thursday uni from the 2001 World Series team. Now, the man that's tasked with handling all these, Diamondbacks equipment man Chad Chiffin. He went to college at Robert Morris University and still has a lot of friends in the Pittsburgh area. He says hello to all of them, and you see that uniform Patrick Corbin is wearing, Greg and Bob. That is the home alternates, in case you're wondering, that the Diamondbacks are wearing tonight.
How about that? Shades of the late 70s, early 80s Pirate team that had all those different uniform combinations, but that is really a different look. The subtle reference to the team name, that snakeskin type look along the shoulders and down toward the bottom of the pant leg. Jordy Mercer has singled and homered. You see that what they call that the sublimated diamond pattern.
Sublimated, huh?
Oh, 0-2.
Well, they've had a number of uniforms over the years since they came into the league. A lot of different color combos.
One and two on Jordy Mercer. Corbin retired the side in order in the 4th. Had been the most consistent pitcher coming into this game through his first 3 starts. He rejoined the Diamondbacks July of last year and showed his old form over his last 16 starts. Again, underwent Tommy John surgery and missed all of 2014. Headed up the middle. There is Ahmed to retire Mercer.
Nice assist by Corbin. That might have made it up the middle if he had deflected it.
1 out. Bucks and PNC Bank have teamed up to offer Pirates fans a very special deal. Save $5 on select Sunday through Thursday tickets. Plus, you get $5 in loaded value, good for concessions and merchandise at PNC Park. Just use your PNC Pirates Affinity card when you purchase your tickets. Get more details at pirates.com/piratescard. Andrew McCutchen has fouled out to the first baseman Goldschmidt and hit a ball to Chris Owings, driving him to the wall in left center field. McCutchen 0 for his last 10.
How far do you think he hit that ball to center field?
How far?
Yeah.
What do you think? About 480?
Yeah, it's about that. Wow.
Spanks that one foul.
What the exit velocity on that one was.
.44 career games against the Diamondbacks. McCutchen is a .331 hitter. And since 2012, he's batting at a .376 clip against them. Did he go? And McCutchen looking down at Clint Fagan.
Captain Francisco Cervelli.
What do you think, Greg?
Flipping a coin.
The first one I would have said no, but that side view did look like he kind of got the head of the bat right out there where the baseball was. Always hard to tell on those. I think they're all flipping the coin.
Yeah, true.
When you ask it,
yeah,
you never know for sure what you're going to get. You just ask just because you might get a strike call. You don't really expect it.
We gave you the good numbers McCutchen has had here and against these Diamondbacks over the years. For McCutchen has also been a place where controversy arose a few years ago, and this play made by Goldschmidt rather routinely as Corbin covered. The play going 3-1 and a 5-4 Pirates lead.
This combo play.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the all-new Chevy Malibu and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Barrel. Visit Barrel.com to learn more about our 3 conveniently located collision centers. Let's go Bucks!
5-4 in favor of the Buccos. Going to the bottom half of inning number 5. What do we have here? Bob Walk and Baba Booey. Strike on Brandon Drury.
What am I doing out there?
I'm just watching. You and Baba Booey. Towards center field, McCutchen. And Drury is the first out here in the bottom of the 5th.
First baseman, Paul Goldschmidt.
We're talking about McCutchen at the plate a couple years ago, of course. Was hit by a pitch. Brandon Delgado of the Arizona Diamondbacks. And apparent retaliation for Ernesto Frieri 2 nights prior to that, hitting Paul Goldschmidt and breaking his hand.
I don't remember that.
McCutchen had said he fully anticipated that they might seek retribution, but not waiting as long as they did to do it. He came to the plate, what, 3 or 4 times before that, and then threw him some breaking balls before hitting him in the back. And he would go on the disabled list after a swing the next day. And he said he wouldn't forget. Of course, when we were in Detroit recently, he had a private closed-door meeting with then manager Kirk Gibson, who's now doing Tigers telecasts. McCutchen wouldn't comment on it, but it's presumed that Gibson asked for the meeting so that he could apologize. And Goldschmidt draws a 1-out walk. So this was a couple years ago here. Andrew McCutchen hit by Randy Delgado. Benches had been worn, and again, this is the fourth pitch of the at-bat.
Look at the umpire.
You're gone. McCutchen furious. It was in the 9th inning. He'd come to the plate. They had plenty of opportunities. And the next day on a swing, he ended up with a rib injury and landed on the disabled list. That was in August of 2014. Line to left by Yasmani Tomas. First and second with 1 out. Goldschmidt stops at second. Tomas is 1 for 3. So this is what brought it all on. Frieri hit him. He was a pinch hitter that night, was Goldschmidt. Didn't start that game. And there's the manager, Kirk Gibson. Was having a great year, fractured his left hand, and they retaliated the next night.
That first, I'm not going to get all fired up about this again. I mean, I did that night, but that first shot there, of where he kind of does a little check swing,
like he was kind of leaning into it. Anyway.
Well, yeah, if you drew a line straight vertically down from where his hand got hit, it wasn't even that far inside.
Right.
But that's beside the point. The whole thing was, okay, you're upset. Your star player got hit. He ended up getting hurt, So why not do something about it then? Or if not then, you're going to wait till the next day, do it in the first inning the next day. And that was what was so crazy about the whole thing, was not that they did anything.
Although your argument was you probably didn't have
Here
to.
it is again. Yeah. And now it's supposed to be a fastball inside. The ball has a little bit of a run on it.
He kind of started to lead into it anyway.
But it's not like he was getting thrown at. Right. That was my point. So, but now.
So let's
say they do have an argument. I can understand. That's baseball. You're going to get mad when your star gets hit like that. But if you're going to get mad, well, then do something about it. Don't wait until the next day in the 9th inning of a blowout ball game and then decide, oh, now we'll do something. That was what I had a major problem with back 2 years ago. It was almost as upset as I was tonight on the length of the home run ball.
Almost.
I
can see similar incidents there. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. At least you're consistent.
This ballpark brings out my passion.
It does. Was the roof open that night that Goldschmidt got hit?
I don't remember.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Castillo, and now it's 2-2. Of course, on top of everything else, maybe a subplot, the fact that Tony La Russa is now in charge of things with the Arizona Diamondbacks, the chief baseball officer. Oh, look what I found. Neese gathers himself and still gets a double play. A shot back to the mound. Inning-ending double play. Pirates still leading it. We go to the 6th inning. Wellington Castillo, a shot back to John Neese.
I don't think he had the jump for that one, Rick. Nice feed to Jay, but actually gone to the second base bag on a pickoff, but the pitch went home instead of the second. So Jay happened to be just standing there, perfect position to receive that throw.
He and Jay were discussing that issue when they got back to the dugout, in fact. Ray Searage and John Neese. And now Starling Marte.
He's ready.
Ball and a strike. Meanwhile, Corbin has retired 7 in a row. Pirates were whacking the ball all over the place against him first 3 innings.
Yeah, he wasn't even at all taking the sting out of the bat.
One away. Let's go back to the studio for a game break with Rob King.
Second baseman, Josh Harrison.
Rob, the Cubs now 13-4.
They're going to be pesky, I think, this year.
Pesky?
Yeah.
Speaking of pesky, a drive towards center field. And the catch made by Owings. Nothing routine about that one. Follow Pirates Baseball live with the MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. Two outs. Now Jason Rogers. Rogers robbed of a hit in the second by second baseman Gene Segura. Flied out to Chris Owings, ending the 3rd inning. He's playing in his first Pirates game. Last night, he had a solo homer, had a couple of hits with Indianapolis. Jason Rogers grew up in the Atlanta area, a Braves fan. (28 years old). And a 2-2 count. And a 3-2 count, rather. Ball 4. A 2-out walk. And Rogers is aboard, and that ends the string of 9 straight, having been retired by Corbin. Sean Rodriguez. A homer and a fly out to center. Rodriguez is up there, not getting cheated on any swing.
I was just going to say, boy,
he takes a rip every time up.
He's not trying to flare one in the right.
He's got the Matt Stairs approach, Bob.
Yeah. Hit one into the river with every swing. I loved it when Stairs said what they all try and do. Well, a lot of them do, but they never admit to.
He admitted it.
Yeah, he said, I try to hit the ball in the river with every swing.
One ball, 2 strikes. Also drawing his fair share of walks. He drew 5 all of last year, and Sean Rodriguez has 6 already this season. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Ahmed, Force at second. 5.5 played in Phoenix. Pirates lead by 1.
Package first, right? Well, the last home run hit in this ball game came off the bat of Wellington Castillo, a blast that came here about 5 rows deep here into left field, and a fantastic catch was made by a Pirates fan holding a baby with his left hand and a barehanded, one-handed grab with his right. And right now, I am here with this intrepid fan. His name is Justin Kirkpatrick. He's from Mesa, Arizona, and this is your son, little Riker, 11 months old. Justin, first of all, how the heck did you make that catch barehanded with a baby in one hand?
I don't even know. I just saw it coming and I reached up and it kind of just fell into my hand.
So in that situation, what are you thinking? Here comes a baseball. I have my wife to my right and I have a baby here in my left hand. What made you think you could do it?
I don't know. Instinct.
Pure instinct. Now, you played baseball as we have another one flying our way. Foul ball. You've never even been to Pittsburgh, yet you're a Pirates fan. Born and raised in Arizona. How did you become a lifelong Bucco fan?
Just kind of picked them as a team when I was younger and didn't want to be a bandwagoner, so I picked a team that wasn't doing so well when I picked them, but they've come along. And
so now, what do you think, Riker? You encourage him to make a catch like this when this young man has a baby one day?
Absolutely.
All right. Now, just for some follow-up info, the baseball has been taken by Diamondbacks personnel. He's getting it autographed, actually, by Wellington Castillo, and it's going to be a keepsake forever. This is Riker's second ever game in his 11 months on planet Earth. So what a keepsake and what a story. Young man Riker and Big Dad Justin has to tell Greg and Bob.
My gosh, I think that Justin should autograph it for Castillo, that catch.
You know what I noticed there in the replay is if you watch, Riker is tracking the ball into the, I mean.
That's right.
That kid's a natural.
He is.
And he's watching the ball go into his dad's hand.
Yeah. And like a veteran, wasn't flustered at all.
No.
Knew exactly what was happening. You know, some guys get rattled. Riker, not rattled. Allegheny Health Network Supermo shot. See Dad Justin reaching up for the play.
Look at Riker. Look, see him looking up.
Yeah, he's
watching the
time,
ball.
yeah.
He knew what happened.
Way to go, Dad. Nicely done. And now Mom and Dad have to go through all the texts after the Robbie interview. Jason Rogers. Somebody yelling to him, coming back, coming back. But it's dropped, untouched.
This one's got to be caught.
Almost like he was expecting Harrison to be there.
Well, that's part of the you know, the shifting. It wasn't an actual shift, but you still had Jay playing way up the middle. Long way to run on that, but Rogers has to catch that ball. That's his ball.
So Ahmed gets another chance. Naftali Felice starts to loosen it up early here, 6th inning. Reaches for it, and the ball comes up and whacks him in the face.
Pow.
Man.
Hey. He's a shortstop in Houston. Getting whacked every now and then with that baseball over the years.
Checking on him. They check him out. We'll check out our Allegheny Health Network injury update. Lefty Corey Lupke started a rehab assignment last night with AAA Indianapolis. A couple of scoreless innings. On the shelf for a little while with tightness in his right hamstring. Corey Lupke. So we've got Lupke rehabbing. Jared Hughes. And Jung Ho Gang. All at AAA Indy. 1-2 on Ahmed. Hard hit. Oh, just ate up Mercer. Base hit for Ahmed.
Center fielder, Chris Owings.
Well, did get by him in a hurry.
And now Chris Owings at the plate. Tripled to right field his last time up. 10 hits now for Arizona. And of course, remember Ahmed hit that foul pop that was not caught in that at bat.
Been more hard hit balls tonight, Craig, by both teams, I think, than any game we've seen this year.
You know, easily, I think.
Some
up there, just everybody up there.
A lot of hard outs.
So action for both bullpens. And a 3-0 count now on Owings. And Corbin is going to be out of the ball game as Phil Goslin has come out on deck.
They're hitting for him.
Well, he can swing the bat, right?
Yeah.
First and second with one out and a walk. The second allowed by John Neese. Clint Hurdle going to make a pitching change. Going to wait till the announcement is made.
Yep, he looks like he is on his way.
Phil Goslin, once he is announced, looks like Hurdle's going to make the change in a double switch. Goslin, a right-handed pinch hitter. He's going to face Neftali Feliz. John Neese will leave with a lead, but 2 men on and 1 away here in the 6th. Shots from the Allegheny Health Network Supermo to the sounds of the Brighton Boys, our featured band tonight on Friday Night Rocks. 5-4. John Neese and the Pirates lead it. Now it's up to Neftali Feliz to get out of this jam, facing Phil Goslin. And it's ball 1.
Feliz has been outstanding. He's done a great job for the Pirates here early on. No walks and 10 strikeouts in 7 2/3 innings. The opposition batting average is 120. A little inside move just in case the Snakes were getting sneaky.
David Freese in this double switch now comes on to play third base, and Sean Rodriguez moves to first. Looking as though they want more than just 2 outs out of Feliz coming in this early. Strike 1-1 on the pinch hitter Goslin. 304 average and 23 at bats. We'll see a new pitcher for Arizona in the 7th. does not get a call there.
That ball just barely caught the top of the strike zone. A flat breaking ball that came in there.
Goslin hitting for Corbin. On deck, Gene Segura with a couple of hits tonight. Runners go. 3-2 pitch is swung on and missed. And a double steal. Goslin goes down on strikes, 2 away. Second and third for Segura.
Goslin got a couple of fastballs to hit, and he swung right through both of them. And it could have been a disaster for the Diamondbacks. Could have had to strike him out, throw him out.
Cervelli encouraging Neftali Feliz to get Segura here.
Probably also telling him, though, I think, Greg, Segura has been so hot here that he does have that base open, and
with the rookie jury on deck.
Just be careful. Make your pitches. Not necessarily pitch around him, but there's no reason you would have to give in to him and throw one like that right down the middle. That was a mistake pitch that went right through there, no problem.
One and one on Segura. Segura had 2 hits off the starter John Neese. Neese allowing to this point 4 runs on 10 hits. And back to Feliz. That'll do it. Feliz puts out that fire, and the Pirates maintain the 1-run lead.
Back to Arizona, we're going to talk about a Pirates prospect, and that's pitcher Tyler Glasnow, who's thrown 3 games at AAA this season with mixed results, some good, some not so good. As we get a look at the numbers here. Now, GM Neil Huntington said the fastball and breaking ball is explosive at times and inconsistent at others. Now, here's the interesting thing that Huntington said, Greg and Bob. One thing he noted was a near complete lack of the use of the changeup. They almost have to force him to use it. Neil said it is absolutely crucial for him to be a good Major League starting pitcher to use the changeup. He said it's awfully hard to develop that third pitch in the big leagues, and that's why they're pushing him now to use it. And in a few starts, it may be mandated for Glasnow to use the changeup. Now, he said they've seen some great signs from him, but there's still some work to do before he can come up and face a really good Major League ball club.
All right, Robbie, thanks much as Silvino Bracho takes over here in the 7th inning, facing Gregory Polanco, who has homered and struck out. Patrick Corbin gives up 5 runs on 7 hits. He has 6 innings, 3 home runs.
Feel comfortable if we could add on here, Greg.
It'd be nice.
One of those games that the way the ball's been hit tonight, you just can't feel comfortable with even a 3 or 4 run lead, but much less a 1 at this point with 3 innings left. Got to make a little push here and turn that 5 into maybe a 7. Might do it.
'23-year-old from Venezuela, Silvino Bracho, his 2nd stint this season with Arizona, recalled from AAA Reno on Wednesday. Now, in case you missed it, Gregory Polanco followed up a Sean Rodriguez home run that was estimated some 458 feet. Polanco, the very next swing, hit a ball that was estimated some 461 feet for his first home run. Back-to-back swings, and later Jordy Mercer hit a line drive home run off of Patrick Corbin.
Furthest of all of them.
Pirates had opened up a 5-1 lead after the Mercer homer and later a Harrison RBI single that brought in Starling Marte. And Sean Rodriguez now playing first base. David Freese came over the double switch, is on deck. Speaking of first base, how about how Josh Bell has taken off? One of the top prospects in baseball. Look what he did today for AAA Indianapolis. 4 for 5, 5 RBIs, hit for the cycle, double grand slam. I mean, they win 13-1 over Louisville, the AAA affiliate of the Reds.
Yeah, top prospects at that position in all of baseball. Not really surprising he'd have numbers like that. How about that play by
Goldschmidt? My, what a play by Goldschmidt. What a play by Paul Goldschmidt. A couple of gold gloves on his mantle.
Yeah, he's not just a great hitter. Two-way guy.
Third baseman, David Freese.
Huh. Just special player over there. Robs Polanco of a double. Here, I guess that's Mike Butcher coming out. I thought somebody might want to just check with Goldschmidt. He's flexing that wrist. But this is the obligatory trip to the mound by the pitching coach when a guy that wasn't in the starting lineup comes to the plate. David Freese. Fantastic play by Goldschmidt to start this 7th inning. Freese 2 for 11 on this road trip. Freese going to turn 33 years old next week.
Almost got the elbow.
Another guy who celebrated a birthday, I believe today, our buddy from Central PA, John Gracie. Happy birthday, John. Longtime Pirates fan. 1-1 on Freese. Hit toward the right center field gap. And that ball will get down and bounce toward the pool. Look out, Bob Walk.
That one went into the water.
I think you were in there too for a while. David Freese doubles his first at bat. Yep.
Shortstop, Jordy.
Where is Walkie? He's out of there now?
I'm drying off. Enough swimming for the night. Right down the pipe. It's a dangerous place to throw the ball on a night like this. We're lucky that one was just 2 bases. Yeah, ball went, well, it didn't make it into the water. Thought it did. Actually bounced over the pool.
Jordy Mercer 2 for 3. Important to get that run home as Silvino Bracho delivers a breaking ball for a strike.
Yeah, feeling kind of like the way the ball's carrying, and it's to get us ready for the Coors Field game. It's like what we're playing tonight. Outfield all having to play way back, and they still can't get to anything hardly.
Coors Field in Denver. The Rockies will host the Pirates in a 4-game set starting Monday night.
This ballpark, Coors Field, part of the reason the Pirates carry an extra pitcher.
Don't forget the Pirates back home a week from tonight for a 6-game homestand. 3 with the Reds and then 3 with those Chicago Cubs. Pirates.com for tickets. That Cubs series includes a Wednesday matinee game on Wednesday, May the 4th. I heard Rob King give us that report. The Cubs winning again 8-1 in Cincy tonight. 2-2 on Mercer. Jake Arrieta, no hitter last night. Silvino Bracho in relief of Patrick Corbin. Bracho's 2nd outing this season. Made 13 appearances out of the bullpen with the D-backs last year. And a 2-2 count on Mercer. Stays 2-2 on the Buccos shortstop now with a home run and 11 ribbies on the young season. Still 2-2 as he fouls the fastball back. Mercer hitting leadoff for the second time on this road trip. He batted leadoff on Wednesday against Drew Pomeranz, ended up with a 3-hit night, including an RBI double. John Jaso will be back in there tomorrow against the righty Ruby De La Rosa. What a job Jaso has done offensively and defensively. An 11-game hitting streak for him. A couple of more hits last night. He's in the top 10 in hitting. Entered the day 4th in the National League with a .368 batting average. Another foul out of play on another fastball. 7-pitch at bat so far, and Castillo wants to talk things over with the rookie.
He wants to get him out of the middle of the plate. A lot of these pitches, even though they're kind of up and down a little bit, they are in the center part of the plate. Playing with fire a little bit.
Pirates will not see Zach Greinke this series. Greinke, the 6-year, $206 million contract signed over the winter. Has been a little bit of a disappointment so far. 1-2 in 4 starts, an ERA of .525 for Greinke, but that will change. 19-3 last year, 1.66 ERA. Pirates will not face him this series. And another foul.
Well, that time he did get out of the middle plate, put that on the inside corner, kind of tying Mercer up a little bit.
An 8-pitch at bat so far for Mercer. Trying to get Freese in from second. Andrew McCutchen is on deck.
A lot of room down the first baseline. Goldschmidt way off the line. Every now and then you'll see Mercer poke one over that direction.
There you see Goldschmidt well off the line.
A lot of room there.
And they're going to set up away. And this time Bracho doesn't get a call. 3-2 now on Mercer. This will be the 10th pitch of the at bat. McCutchen 0 for 3 on deck. What an at bat. Draws the walk. 2 on with 1 out for Andrew McCutchen. Talking about this series not seeing Greinke. Tomorrow night, Ruby De La Rosa against Juan Nicasio. Our Nissan road ahead. Coverage begins at 7:30 tomorrow night, and then on Sunday the series here in Phoenix concludes. 3:30 airtime. Francisco Liriano opposes left-hander Robbie Ray. We're likely to see this same lineup on Sunday with Mercer, Rogers.
This could be a good matchup right here, Greg.
McCutchen against Bracho.
Bracho's throwing a lot of pitches that have been in the center part of the plate.
Good call, Bob. A very good matchup. McCutchen will get Freese home with a big run. It is 6-4. And that ends a hitless string of 11 straight at bats for Andrew McCutchen. Picks up his 5th RBI of the season.
A little off-speed pitch, a little breaking ball that was up about belt high, maybe even a little bit above the belt. Catch all over it.
.6-4 Pirates as McCutchen lines it into left. David Freese scoring after doubling with 1 out. And Andrew McCutchen, just his 2nd hit with a man in scoring position so far this season. Well, you know those numbers are going to change considerably. Francisco Cervelli is 0 for 3. Cervelli batting .278 in these situations. 5 out of 18. Well, the home plate umpire said he did, and Cervelli does not agree. But DJ Raver, he can't believe it.
You know,
passion.
He doesn't really. Usually when he's getting into it with an umpire, he's got a little smile on his face, but not now. He's mad. There's no Amore there.
Well, he just got him mad is what he did.
Yes, he did. He got the wrong guy mad.
Mercer going to be waved home. Tomas's throw is cut off. RBI single for Cervelli. And it's a 7-4 Pirates lead. Back-to-back singles by McCutchen and Cervelli produced 2 more runs.
Mike Cervelli is still talking about that check swing down at first. Another ball right in the middle of the plate. Not much of an arm in left field, huh? That ball was just dying from lack of speed as it was getting toward the infield grass. Mercer,
congratulating Mercer. That's going to be it for Bracho.
Hey, we got a 7 spot up there.
Yep.
I feel better now.
And look for more against another reliever. Plays the game with a passion. See the Pirates catcher feed himself a helping number of workouts to grow his stock even further and help reach those goals on Inside Pirates Baseball. Francisco Cervelli, hungry. Tomorrow at 7 on Root Sports. He was hungry for that base hit, wasn't he?
Now there's the normal look. Smiling.
Starling Marte comes to the plate. Delgado, 9th appearance. Marte doubled and scored in the 3rd. 7-game hitting streak now for him.
He had that long hitting streak against the Diamondbacks extended too.
Yeah. What is that now?
What'd you say?
20 gamer.
Yeah.
I think that's the longest now all time. Any individual player against the Diamondbacks. He was tied with Jimmy Rollins. The 19 gamer that Rollins had a few years ago. And Marte now a 20 gamer. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Marte staring down at home plate.
It was a little outside. It was close, but it wasn't like a horrendous call or anything like that. It was a little bit outside. You're going to have some thick skin to be an umpire, don't you?
Yeah.
Just, so much has to kind of roll off your back.
Oh, blocked there by Castillo.
Do you think he might have been crossed up?
Maybe.
That's an awful, poor block of a breaking ball.
Well, apparently he was.
Yeah. This is not the classic way to block a breaking ball.
No, you're right. That was a cross up. Randall Delgado coming on in relief of Silvino Bracho and inheriting 2 men, already 2 in, to give the Pirates this 3-run lead. Hits even at 10 apiece. Back-to-back nights, double-digit hits for the Bucks. And 11 hits and 11 runs last night.
Don't get in front of that one. That ball that he pulled back underneath there, Greg, that might have went all the way back to the concession stands.
Wouldn't that be something?
That was way back underneath there. And some velocity.
Another hard hit foul ball. Yeah, Starling Marte looks to pick up at least his 10th RBI of the season. Sitting on 2 homers, 9 ribbies. And that could be an inning-ending double play. And it is. But the Pirates pick up 2 insurance runs, head to the bottom of the 7th inning, lead at 7-4.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Kenny Ross, Total Confidence Pricing, And by Levin Furniture, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
Well, Andrew McCutchen delivers an RBI single in the top of the 7th inning. Francisco Cervelli followed with an RBI hit of his own. And Tony Watson, we'll go back to keys to the game. Bob Walk mentioned get Tony Watson some work.
A little early.
Could we be looking for 2 innings out of Watson maybe?
Thinking that's a possibility.
Well,
Extra work. Look
wow,
at
can he get the out? And he did. Little juggling act from Jordy Mercer.
that. He's a little fancy tonight, Saul.
How about that play? It's a 6-6-3 put out.
Whoop, up, I got it. And as always, right there, look at that, chest high, right over the back.
Here's Goldschmidt. If Watson can be super efficient here, we probably will see 2 innings out of him. Another look on the Allegheny Health Network Super Mo. Stays with it and throws the strike.
Yeah, there's no time for him to like set his hand and get a good grip on the ball and get the laces like he wants. It's a tough throw when it has to be done like that.
Watson versus Goldschmidt. Well rested Tony Watson. A look from the outfield fence. Mercer again. 2 down.
Take his time a little bit. Get a good grip on that one.
Check out our day automotive this day in Pirates history. This date 1949, Pirates won their home opener against the Reds. Ralph Kiner hit a grand slam in the 3rd inning, erasing a 4-0 deficit. Next inning catcher Clyde McCullough hit an RBI triple to put the Buccos ahead for good. Bill Worley got the win for 7 2/3 shutout innings of relief. This date in 1949.
How about that? Someone come out of the bullpen and throw almost 8 innings in relief in your home opener.
Yeah.
What year was that?
49.
49. That was. Pirates weren't really a juggernaut back then. Were they?
Tomas, not Thomas. Tomas. When Pete and Susie are out, we say they're the Thomas.
Well, from now on, we'll say there's the Tomas.
There's the Tomas.
Yeah, from
That's
now
right.
on, that's what we're saying.
That's right. It's 1 Tomas. It's 2 Tomas. Do we wish Pete a happy birthday yet? I think we did. Wow. A nice outing. 1, 2, 3.
Sharp.
Tony
Very
Watson. Sharp and efficient. Of course, Trevor Story and the Colorado Rockies starting on Monday night as we continue this road trip. When you think somebody throwing out a Rocky from right field, think back to Jose Guillen. Throwing out, who was it from right field to third base? He threw it. I know Keith Osick was the Pirates' third baseman. Who was the?
Do you know?
I don't.
I can picture him. I know who it is.
It wasn't Quentin McCracken, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Fly ball to center field, hit pretty deep by Harrison, and this is going to bounce off the wall. And Jay Hay coasting into second with a stand-up double. And you better watch out because Jay Hay will take another 90 feet.
Better watch out. You better not pout. He McCracken that ball out there.
Second double. It was Perez, Mayfi Perez.
Yes, that's who it was. So you knew who it was.
I didn't. No, but you made fun of my McCracken guess. And
look at it.
He secured the helmet initially on the way to first, and then it's gone.
But the whole time, I mean, he's wanting to go the whole way. Until somebody calls time, he's not slowing down.
No.
Who was playing left field that day that you and I talked about him for like 3 innings?
Oh, I think that might have been McCracken.
McCracken, yeah.
We had the wrong guy out there.
Yeah.
Tony Watson, a rare at bat. 1 for 6 in his career with 2 sacrifice bunts.
You never know when you come to the ballpark what you're going to be doing that day. I don't think Tony was thinking he'd be at the plate trying to bunt.
His 9th major league plate appearance.
He's getting work everywhere, getting work at the plate, work on the mound.
Gets the job done though with 2 strikes. Textbook, Bob?
He's just a working man.
Tony Watson.
Can't do it better than this. You want to put it at the third base side. Goldschmidt's charging hard all over you, but that really doesn't matter as long as you get it in the right direction, which he did, and his job is done because of it.
And it begs the question that if Tony Watson can do it,
everybody can do it.
In his major league career, that's his 9th time he's come to the plate, and he dropped down a bunt like he does it several times during the course of a year. So in Watson's case, it's a natural thing. You can do it or you can't.
He was born a great bunter.
Born a great bunter. Okay,
yeah.
That's what it is. Maybe I was born to bunt. Infield in with Sean Rodriguez at the plate. Home run, fly out, and a broken bat bouncer to short.
Shortest of the 3 home runs tonight.
Yeah, that's a fact. .458 feet that home run.
How about tomorrow, a few hours before the game, we walk out there and just kind of like look at the 3 spots and actually stand there. And in our own mind,
you should do that.
Which one is furthest from home
I think you're not going to be able to sleep tonight. I think you should do it tonight. There's a broken bat, base hit, RBI for Sean Rodriguez. It is 8-4. What a start this season for Sean Rodriguez. He now has 6 hits in 14 at-bats. 8 RBIs.
Gregory Polanco.
Took a nice big swing at that one, but the ball got out of the end of the bat a little bit, so it didn't carry up that gap. He's kind of a cut from that same bolt of cloth as Jay is comes to play. And
High fly ball to center field. Back is Owings.
No, not going to make it.
Rodriguez is going to tag, and he's going to advance. Going back to what you're saying.
Yeah. He's going to, he sees that high fly ball. He's going to use it to get himself in the scoring position. That's, could you see Jay doing the exact same thing? Maybe Watson.
Yes, definitely Watson.
Those two, or those three guys.
Now David Freese came on part of a double switch in the 6th inning and doubled in the 7th. Pirates now with a dozen hits. Freese, after the double, scored on an Andrew McCutchen single. Randall Delgado got a double play ball from Starling Marte to end the 7th. Two and one. Well, before the game, we had a nice visit up in the booth, seeing former Penguins announcer Matt McConnell and his wife Jennifer. He attends a half dozen games a year here in Phoenix, but still has the Pirate connection. Pittsburgh. Bob Heathis and his wife Melissa were also here. Bob does the Coyote radio games. And of course a bunch of Pirate fans here. Michael Blackstone and his wife are on hand. We just see black and gold everywhere.
Riker.
Yes.
One of the younger Pirate fans at the game tonight.
Yep. And it'll reach the seats.
That was his dad explaining why he decided to pick the Pirates. Because they weren't very good.
Didn't want to be a bandwagon jumper.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
it's paid off for him.
So he got on an empty wagon.
Yeah.
And now that wagon's very full, and he's got a good seat.
Mm-hmm.
I like his thinking. He deserved to make that great catch.
And there goes Rodriguez for third. On the pitch in the dirt.
How did nobody find this ball? Oh, where's it at now? That kind of night. The ball going into the umpire's pocket.
Yeah. That was crazy. David Freese is going to be robbed of a hit by Nick Ahmed. The Pirates will settle for the 1 run in the top of the 8th, but Ahmed makes a great stop. 8-4 Pirates.
Copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And now the bottom of the 8th inning, and there's Tony Watson. A drive deep to left by Wellington Castillo, a fair ball, and it hits the pole for a long home run. Makes it 8-5, a 2-homer night for Wellington Castillo.
Is there a law against short home runs in this ballpark? And I guess we did see one tonight. This is just tattooed.
Third career multi-homer game for Wellington Castillo. The second home run that Watson has given up this season.
How far do you think that went, Greg?
460 feet. Base hit for Peralta.
Peralta is moving.
And McCutchen does a nice job of Peralta into second with a double.
Well, Peralta's trying to fire up his teammates. Been a while since we've had a game like this, Greg.
Yeah.
You're just not sure. The hitters are all so confident up there and making such solid contact all the time.
Boy, an effective 1-2-3 7th inning and efficient for Tony Watson, but home run, double, and there's a chopper back to the mound for the first out. Clint Hurdle's trying to get 2 innings out of Watson. That happened a couple of times last year with Watson.
He certainly is rusted.
Last time he had a 2-inning outing was May 15th last year.
Well, only thrown 14 pitches.
But a
They-
very
he might-
unusual night. He might go to Melanson
Yeah,
early.
he might get a, let's say, a four
out save.
4-out save. Yeah. The way the hitters are, Clint's going to get a little creative tonight.
One and one on Owings. Ricky Weeks.
Junior.
Saw his brother in San Diego. One and two on Owings. Be interesting to see if Watson gets Owings, if Clint Hurdle would go to Melanson, because Ricky Weeks has strong career numbers against Watson. A career .455 hitter against Watson is Ricky Weeks. Watson's first outing in 6 days. Two and two. Now a full count.
If he doesn't get him, does Melanson come in at that point for sure?
I would think so.
Weeks is tying run. If he doesn't get him.
Yeah, I would think so. I almost think he's coming in
No
either
matter
way.
what, either way.
I mean, he's at 20 pitches now, and Clint Hurdle would like to have Watson available tomorrow. Lined to the third baseman, Freeze. Well, we'll see.
Yep. Nope. Thought he was.
He moved from his
Yeah,
position, but maybe just a head fake.
Did he go
He's
back to
checking
the
to see
phone?
if he's ready.
He went back to the telephone.
Gonna let him face Weeks. Weeks, you saw the numbers. 3 hits and 11 at bats. Long-time Brewer. Was with the Mariners last year. Hit 167. Signed a minor league deal with Arizona in February. And it's 2-0. Gene Segura, who has a pair of hits, is on deck. Interestingly enough, Segura is 0 for 10 in his career against Watson. And it's 3-0. He's 0 for 8 lifetime against Melanson. And he didn't get a call.
He didn't get 2 calls. He had first pitch nicked the corner also. Could easily be 1 and 2 instead of 3-0.
Shot off the glove of the shortstop Mercer. Here comes the play at the plate, safe, and on to second goes Weeks, and it's now 8-6. E6.
Been a couple very hard balls hit out there toward Mercer tonight. So one of them.
Double switch. We're going to see Mark Melancon in the 8th inning. Against the Diamondbacks tomorrow. Coverage here from Chase Field starts at 7:30 with Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason on Root Sports. Zeke and Captain Willie jerseys.
A couple of classics.
Yep. Well, Matt Joyce is playing right field. A little unusual because when Joyce replaces Watson in the order, that's the 6th spot of the batting order, and just 2 spots later comes Polanco, so Polanco's out of the game, and so Melancon comes in to try and earn a 4-out save as he faces Jean Segura. We believe this is his 4th save opportunity to get 4 outs. The time was called. That was interesting. Time called, and that was way in. It's a good thing Segura
got out of the way. Yeah. Melancon not like the time call?
I wonder.
Wow, how late was that time call too? That man,
hard to believe he was granted timeout.
Yeah. The hands went up, but Melancon was already pitching.
Segura has 2 hits tonight. The National League hits leader. 2 for 3 against starter John Neese. This is still Neese's game to win, but 8-6 Pirates lead. Offense, the name of the game tonight. One ball, 2 strikes on Segura.
Nice pitch right at the knees.
Diving stop, Rodriguez. Melancon not in time, and the run will score as he drops the ball. It's 8-7. Great stop by Sean Rodriguez. Bang, bang play. Segura reaches.
I wonder how close that was at first. For a while, Clinton came out of the dugout. He wanted to hold. Oh, he was definitely easily safe. It looked like the ball was dropped as he was trying to take it out of his glove to throw home.
Coming all the way around is Weeks. Make it a 1-run ball game.
Hey, this has been a great ball game for.
You like offense?
Both our fans. Well, I think most people do. They enjoy watching this kind of a game.
And some really outstanding plays.
Good, good defensive plays. A lot of well-hit baseballs tonight. But both these teams, too, Greg, are really playing hard, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a fun game to watch. Just hope we hang on to that 1-run lead now.
Sean Rodriguez, the great diving stop, and Segura, the head first dive, beat Melancon there. Give Segura credit for an RBI single to make it 8-7.
There's no position that Sean can't play.
And another hit. Wow. Brandon Drury with his second hit of the night. Hits for Arizona.
Most of the time, Greg, this would be the last guy you want to see come to the plate when you're playing the Diamondbacks in this situation. But no hits tonight, and the batting average is down in the 220s.
2 for 5 lifetime with a home run against Melancon is Goldschmidt. Chop to the shortstop Mercer, and on to first, and Goldschmidt might have beaten it out. He's called out for now, but hold everything. And the runner Segura created a little bit of interference, distraction, and they're gonna challenge this one. And from our vantage point, it looked as though Goldschmidt beat it. You wonder what Segura's base running did to Mercer at all.
Well, it made him lay back is what it did, and then he had to see how he's laying back. And now he makes a flat-footed throw, and yeah, it does look from that viewpoint that he beat it. Oh yeah, beat it easy, Greg. It wasn't even close. They're gonna get this one.
Fans are seeing it. 27,829.
Well, they're all loving the fact that the throw is late. I wonder how many people in here tipping their hat to Segura for what you pointed out, Greg. The way he held up. And I think that bothered Mercer a little bit.
This is likely to be overturned, and
boy, they're really taking a long time looking at it.
Hard to believe. Taking
that makes me wonder what the call is going to be. Safe. Okay.
Let's watch it again. Paul Goldschmidt not conceding anything either. For a big man, he can get down the line pretty good. And he gets credit for the infield single. Didn't see whether Rodriguez, as soon as that out call was made, I assume he turned and headed for the dugout. You wonder if Segura, we've talked about this, should you continue with plays? Should Segura have continued and gone all around the bases? Well, now it's up for Yasmani Tomas, the 9th man to hit in the inning, in a 1-run ball game. Tomas is 1 for 4. Now an 8-game hitting streak. Eight runs, a dozen hits for the Pirates, 7 runs, 15 hits for Arizona. And it's 1-1.
It's like Melanson is really trying to do a lot of nipping the inside corner with the cutter with right-handed hitters up this year. You noticing that? How
yes.
He's trying to start the ball off inside and try to get called strikes in there.
2-1.
Normally, anytime you throw something that's going to be moving away from the hitter, you want it to be away from it. So he's having to reach for it and maybe, try and swing at something that's actually too far to reach. But you can, what they call backdoor a breaking pitch or a cutter to where it's off the plate and you're just trying to bring it over just enough to get a called strike.
That is a foul ball by inches.
By a smidgen.
That would have given the Diamondbacks the lead. First base umpire Clint Fagan. Segura, Drury, Goldschmidt on. 2-2 pitch. Bounce toward third. Freeze for the final out. They score 3 runs. A wild one here in Phoenix. Brighton boys making their TV debut tonight. They've got a watch party going at Woolly Bullies in New Brighton tonight, and it is Woolly Bully here.
It is very
My
Woolly
goodness,
Bully.
8-7. Nothing decided yet.
Yeah, we could probably add some more runs here.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
probably.
hurt anything. Wouldn't hurt a thing.
And the Brighton boys tweeted out, "Hey, we on TV. Thanks for the photo, Jen." Ball one on Mercer. Evan Marshall now on in relief. And Jordy Mercer, I'm sure, still feeling badly about the error that led to a couple of unearned runs. He starts the ninth with his third hit. He's on base for the fourth time in this game.
Got to start building a little inning ourselves here.
Fourth game for Marshall.
Greg, I'm looking at the scoreboard lineup out there, and he's just not still in the game, is he?
No.
No, they have him playing right field.
Oh boy. Well, this game you never know. And now McCutchen delivered an RBI single in the seventh. And a fly ball to right. And Peralta. Comes up Francisco Cervelli.
Not happy with the result of that one. Good hit and run guy up there, huh?
Excellent. Would they send Mercer?
On a hit and run, I think they would.
Cervelli tonight has grounded out 3 times, once into a double play, singled in a run his last time up. Marshall called up from AAA earlier in the week.
It's a good name if you're going to play in Arizona.
Yes.
Marshall.
Called up Sunday. Tossed a couple of perfect innings against the Padres on Sunday. 3 games in the minors this year, a 7.71 ERA. He was struck in the head in August of last year at El Paso and suffered a fractured skull. So his first action in the big leagues since that. And there's a bouncing ball that is going to be a double play. And we'll head to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Pirates lead is just 1. Well, 3 outs to get. There is Michael Blackstone. Mentioned him earlier, big Pirates fan who wrote a song, Let's Go Bucks, recently. And these Pirate fans on the edge of their seats now, knowing 3 more outs to get. What a wild game this has been.
Fun game to watch.
Yeah, hoping Melancon can get his first 4-out save as a Pirate. 3 times previously in his career, he's had 4-out save opportunities. Those came as a member of the Houston Astros 5 years ago in 2011. He's 2 out of 3 in getting the save as he faces Wellington Castillo, who's homered twice. One for 11 against Melancon in his career. David Peralta on deck, and then Nick Ahmed. And this towards center. And McCutchen for the first out. There's one big one.
Just a routine fly.
Still pretty efficient. 14 pitches to get 2 outs. And he has faced now 5 batters.
Always has a good control. I don't think he ever throws a pitch where he's trying to throw a strike. It's always a certain spot that he's trying to put the baseball.
Toward right, Joyce coming on. 2 outs. And of course, they're playing deep. Joyce had to come in quite a ways, but makes the play. As Polanco was removed, part of the double switch.
That might be the first time we've seen an outfielder come in to make a catch tonight.
Yep.
Everything has been so far.
Joyce makes the play, and 3 pitches to get 2 outs. Melancon looks for the final out. And what would be his first 4-out save since September 18th, 2011. As a member of the Houston Astros. Jake Lamb pinch hitting. Lamb had a big home run the other night against the Giants, tying the game in San Francisco. Game tying home run with 2 outs in the 9th. Got a 5-game hitting streak. Two and 1 now on the pinch hitter Lamb. Chris Owings on deck. Chopped right side. Rodriguez has it and raised the Jolly Roger in Phoenix. What a game.
Yeah, what a great one to win tonight. This is a like we were saying last couple of days, a fun, exciting game to watch, but not so much if you come up on the short end. I don't think, you know, right now the Diamondbacks are in their dugout thinking, wow, this was fun tonight. But there'll be some hooping and hollering and some